Hey guys, today I want to show you Evernote. So what I have opened up here is their website. It's evernote.com, and if you haven't heard of Evernote, it is a place where you can organize all of your various different things that you need to organize. All your digital stuff that you're keeping track of. We all have emails, we all have to-do lists, we all have ideas that we're working on. So I wanted to show you today how I'm using Evernote. So where I got started was I went to evernote.com and I created a login. I think the first thing I did was download it. So I'm on my computer. You can download it to your computer and then you create your login. And then let me show you what it looks like. I have it here installed on my computer here. So here's an example of things that I want to remember to buy. So I've got a picture of some light bulbs that we're out of, various different things. So you can have your to-do lists on here, whether it's for work or for home. But let me bring up the list of things because I don't want to get sidetracked here. So I think I've talked a little bit about why using it. It's a place to have everything organized and an easy place to search for items. To install it, you go to Evernote, you download it, you install it, and you create your login. So just like a normal app. I have it on my computer. Oh, again, I'm getting ahead of myself. The cost of it is free. You can have up to 60 megabytes per month. So I only found that I ran out of that data limit when I was sending a lot of documents into it. So if you're not sending a lot of information into it, you're not going to bump up to that data limit. So I really recommend using it for free for a while and then seeing if you need to do the premium level. So the premium level is $96 a year. Then you have 10 gigabyte per month, which I've never ran into that. And then you can have unlimited number of devices. For the free, you can connect 2 devices. So for example, you could have it on your computer and you could have it on your phone. Speaking of devices, you can have it on your desktop and you can have the app installed on your phone and tablets. And then you also can just open it up on the website. Let's say you don't have any of your devices with you. You could log into any computer, open up the site, log in. Just remember to log out if you're using something that's not your own. So let's get into the features. Let me show you all the features that I love about it. So one thing that I love is if I'm in my email and I have a really important document that I want to remember. Let's say it's my trip here to Florida. Let's say I've got this email and it's got all my particulars. I can forward this to Evernote, and I'll show you how to find your email address. But I can send this into Evernote, and I use the email feature probably the most. This is just super, super, super handy. So I've created a contact in my email that's my Evernote address, and I'll show you where to get that in a second here. But we're going to send that into Evernote. It says your message has been sent, and then if I flip over into my Evernote, in the incoming folder, when I sync here, and it usually syncs within a few minutes. I'm just purposely hitting the sync here. We'll give it a minute to come in. Oh, this is a bad example. All right, well, when we see that come in, I'll show you that. But that is one of the main reasons I use it for, is our emails are so, here it popped in. So our emails are just so full of stuff, and even though you create folders and stuff, I just find this just a super way to be, super organized. So I've got my flight, so that information came into my email, and if it's an important email, I send it into Evernote. So inside Evernote, let's go back to my list here. So that's how you can send into it. Let me show you. Once you install Evernote, you go into Tools and Account Information, and then that has all your information about, and you would copy that email address and put it in your contacts, and then that's how you can send stuff in. It shows as a forwarded message. You can delete that if you so want to, but it doesn't matter. You now have your information inside Evernote. So then when it comes to how I'm organizing stuff in Evernote, I've got various different things. I'm on our neighborhood board. I have my website information. I have my YouTube videos that I make. So what I've done is created subfolders under these folders so that I can, when I think of an idea for a YouTube video, I can create a note and put it in here, and then I can kind of have them grouped by these folder names. You simply right mouse click to create a new folder in those different areas. So here's an example of how I use it for crafting. If I get a new stamp set, let's say I get a new Stampin' Up! Stamp set, I either take a picture of the case of the stamps, or I go out to the website and make a copy of it from the website. And then I can simply go through here and search for different things on those stamps. So it does do a very good job. If you notice down here the word happy is highlighted. It does recognize these images and what words it can decipher out of your images. So I love it for that. You know, I have well, how many stamp sets? I have 143 Stampin' Up! Stamp sets. I can come in here and I can search for, you know, I want to send a congratulations card. I can put that in and it'll find, it's actually sorting through here. It found 19 notes that has something to do with congratulations. And then I can quickly click on these and see what is on those stamp sets. So I love it for this. It's kind of like Pinterest, where it's taking the pictures, but it's a way that I can search specifically here. So I love it for that. I talked about how I can use it for my website. I talked about how you can send an email in. Another handy feature is, let's say I've got something on my computer and I want to send it into Evernote. I can right mouse click on a document and do the send to, and then send it over to Evernote. So it'll create that document, and then once it comes into Evernote, it defaults to the incoming folder. You can go in here and then move it to the folder. Like I've got a folder for trips. I can move this Florida trip down into my trips folder. So that way when I go in here, I've got everything for my trips. So I love that feature about it. So we talked about emailing in, we talked about the folders, I talked about, well, let me just emphasize here, when I copied and pasted these stamp images, just like you would copy and paste any image, right mouse click, paste it in here. I can resize these things. If I wanted to, let me create a new note. I'm just clicking on the new note button up here. Just take this as an example. You can create a bulleted list. You can create a numbered list. You can also create these check boxes. If I want to do that and do check boxes, and then I can check those off. You also can insert a table and tell it what size. You can put the stuff in. You can size the table. Just very, you know, it's a rich text editor, and you can put anything that you want to in there. Let's say I want to delete this note. You right mouse click and hit delete. I'll move it to the trash. And then let me close these. There's a trash bin down here. You can either restore it, or you can, I usually just empty the trash every so often. You can also, so you can click on restore to bring back that deleted note. So that's handy. Another feature that I love to use is setting a reminder. So you can come over here and over on the top here, click on that little dot menu and then hit reminder, and then you can add a date to it. You don't have to add a date, but you can add a date. So it's on my reminder list, and then I can put a date. So let's say in a week I want to remember to do something. so that when I open up Evernote and I see all my notes, I can see all my reminders. And I'll tell you, it's really handy when you have the app on your phone, because you can create a little, you can have the app on your phone. I don't know if you can see this or not, probably with the glare. But I can just have a little chiclet here that lets me have my to-dos, and it'll show the ones that are due today, and it'll just say upcoming for the ones that I didn't put a date on it. So super handy that way. What else? I talked about the cost, the devices. You can also share stuff with others. So if you have a need to share home to-dos with your hubby, you simply right mouse click and then click Share Notebook, and then in there you put the email address, and then they'll get an email that says click, and then when they open that link, it'll open up in their Evernote. So I think the sharing, there's probably who you can share it with limitations on the free version. I'd have to check on that. But yeah, hopefully I showed you some things. It's just such a good way to stay organized. It syncs with all the devices. We keep our grocery list on there. Yeah, I can't say enough good things about it. I mean, it's just, I don't know if I mentioned when you sort stuff, like on the trips, if you put good naming conventions on here. So for example, I can sort by update. I usually leave it updated and reverse order so that the most recent are at the top, but you can also sort it by title. So that way I've got trips coming up. And what I did was, because I'm sorting by title, I gave it a good name. So I gave it the year and the month and the date, and then that way it's sorting the way I want. Same with those stamps. The stamps were sorted by title. Here it is, it's sorting descending, but if I take off that reverse order, then it's by the title of the stamp set. So I hope this gives you a good example of why to use Evernote. I find it very handy, and if you have any questions, put them in the comments and I'll help respond to those. And maybe in the comments include how you plan on using it, how you would use it, either for reminders or organizing emails. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. That really helps me out. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.